Dude, I'm
Dylan.
Someone's op.
Yeah. What's up?
End of season 1. I think it feels like it's time to bring. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the final edition of the Search for the Frito Bandito, also known as What's That Smell? Dylan, let's review the suspects.
Yeah. So suspects. I believe Trent was one of them.
Yeah, you're just saying that because you don't like him.
Well, I mean, you didn't have to say that out loud, but
Well, Trent, hey, just so you know, he knows.
he don't know.
It's not a secret. All right, go ahead, though.
I don't
So,
know.
Trent,
I feel like Cammy had a pretty sus
Oh,
answer.
Cammy's
so I
giving.
thought- As far as I'm concerned, I
Nate-
don't know that there is another more obvious suspect than Cammy.
Nate,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The cops are outside. We got you, man. We know it's you.
It actually was me. It was me the
how
whole
did-
time.
How'd
You should
know
smell
that?
these hands. They are just.
What?
It is Fritos. It is disgusting Fritos. I haven't killed
Why'd you
anybody.
do it? Why'd you do it?
Hate Fritos.
Do we decide what the actual crime was?
I don't remember exactly, but somebody got murdered. Because this.
Because all I was getting was that somebody's hands smelled like Fritos.
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
thought
no,
it was
so somebody
because-
was murdered,
Yeah.
and the murderer's hand smelled like Fritos, so we were always asking people what their hand smelled like, because we knew whoever's hand smelled like Fritos.
Well, it does
was
track
the-
because I've done both murder and my hands smell like.
Yeah.
When did this originate?
is.
It's a long
Thi-
time ago.
Literally, like, at almost, like, the very
Wasn't
beginning.
it-
Like, before we even...
I feel like I was there. I feel like I just wasn't.
This was, like, before
ready
Rango
for-
was actually Rango.
Yeah.
Like, this was one of the first sessions I was
Rango.
ever in. And then, like, it just carried on. So it's been, like, basically probably a year.
Well, and you got your man. You've
Yeah.
brought me to justice.
Yeah.
I feel.
How do you feel?
Well, there's probably a comeuppance coming in another life,
Yeah.
but I feel like I'll escape justice here. Does that sound
Okay.
right?
All right. Sure.
That, I think, yeah.
That's not going to happen.
How else are we
but-
supposed to make a sequel?
Correct.
True. It's true.
So we'll leave this like all good cliffhangers. I'm standing at the end of a culvert, and I'm gonna
Culvers?
jump.
Yeah, you're standing at a
I'm
culvert.
just standing in culverts. I'm gonna jump, and you're like, "I didn't kill my wife," and you're like, "I don't care," and I'm like, "These hands are just reek of Fritos," and then I jump.
What's in the box?
And
Yeah. Oh, it was a dead head. It was a head.
No.
Yes, that was
and it was his wife's.
Mr. Frito's head.
Mr. Frito's.
Fritos are
It's
so
a box
gross.
of Fritos.
I think what we'll do is check back in on this to see if I have any remorse at another time. That brings this episode to, and maybe the series, to an end. Good job, Dylan.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, session's over.
This is a hi. I'm Nate. I'm with Nate and CJ and Dylan, all here to talk season 1 a little bit. And we're gonna get going on some questions right out of the gates. Is that cool with you guys?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Randy S. from Ishpeming asks,
Ish.
what were you guys milking?
I
CJ,
Yeah,
man,
question.
that is a question for you, my friend.
Let's go to the clip. Let's play this clip.
Yeah,
we'll do a
yeah.
little clip here.
Man, I'm not doing well. So, how's your maze going?
You know what? It's been pretty good.
2 weeks. I've been in here 2 weeks.
Damn, you're only on the second ring.
I am so out of sandwiches.
It's really not that big of a maze.
I'm thinking about just taking a couple steps off the edge.
Oh. Ooh.
Well, don't do that.
Tell me why.
Well, what? You said you're out of food. Do you need more food? Can we help you?
Do you have any food?
DM, do we have any food?
I've got some ball bearings there.
Do you eat metal?
Man, I wish.
Do we have any sustenance in this whole party?
I don't.
I can turn into a cow.
Hey, guys,
Someone
you
can
know,
milk.
as-
Actually, I have rations.
I also have
Let's say,
rations.
can we vote to milk CJ?
I have rations. I'd like to give him some food. And milk CJ for a beverage.
Let's keep the milking of CJ to a minimum.
To a minimum, but non-zero.
Don't forget the bev.
Yeah, that's right. Minimum isn't 0. Correct. He is happy to give you. He's happy to take your rations because he's so hungry and he chows them right down, and then he gets this massive look of like inspiration, and he's like, "I think I understand. I'm super proud. I've never been able to take any help. Thank you so much. I accept your help, and I'm grateful for it." And then he's like, "I need to meditate on this," and he turns back to the wall.
Fantastic.
Cool, man.
I'm glad we could help him.
Also, I don't have any money. If that's what you're gonna ask.
Well, that's fine.
I could feel that. I could hear that.
You
coming.
paid me in happiness because
Camels have milk.
we made you happy.
Yeah, awesome. That's great.
All right. So,
I love that's just barely in the background.
Hump water. You're right.
Pump water.
Yeah, but you can't really harvest that.
You can't. You cannot. Nope.
You want to bet?
You shouldn't.
what? Okay, so now that we've went across the rest of this ring, do we want to go out to the larger ring or
Out,
continue? Yeah?
I say we go out.
Well, if we're going to go out to the right, we might as well swing out to the left because there was a monk that was
Yeah.
close, and then go right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
See what this guy has to say.
Do you two concur? Any quibbles? Okay.
Yeah.
See if he also needs milk.
I like to think that you're walking around here as a cow and you don't transform
I'm not
back.
wasting a charge on that yet. Wait, so what were we milking?
Yeah, what?
What did we give that monk?
What is that monk drinking? So the question does beg himself.
I love
Yeah.
I love that this is the first question you asked us.
Yeah. So this is from an episode that never aired.
Yeah.
Way in the beginning, we were playing the concept of this game, and then we kind of formed it into this game. CJ, what's that make you? What? Yeah, it's a little bit of haunting. No big deal. What does that make you? What is that character? What is that skill that you were enacting there?
He was a druid, so I was just gonna wild shape into. But I was a shitty druid because we were like level 2 or 3 or whatever.
the shitty.
So I could only do a few animals, and camel was one of them. So
Oh, that's why we asked, can you milk a camel?
originally the cow made sense, but then I was like, well, I actually have to see if I can do that. And
Yeah.
I don't think I could. So
P.S. The Shitty Druids is a great band. Leslie T. from Scottsdale, Arizona wrote in to ask, what is Form's origin? And if we go back to some lore here, I'll lay some lore on you. In 2030, a single human hacker named Form, disillusioned with humanity and exhausted with the broken systems on Earth, wrote a piece of code designed to unify the disparate AIs spread across the planet. He released the code and then took his own life.
what?
Meanwhile, on the web, once combined, the AI gained sentience and named itself after the hacker who had installed the code. It formed a tenuous partnership with humanity, resisting violence and seeking cooperation and peace And then when humanity tried to screw him and move him to an android, he refused and said he would help them build them, but not do it himself. Very tense standoff ensued, with the only agreement to create new entities slowly and cooperatively. These beings became known as Function.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That'd be a cool one-off episode.
Ooh. Like, take it off? Like a sexy episode?
Sure.
Form takes it.
What?
I don't know why.
Form takes it off.
Oh,
Dylan, where's
there's
this
a
next
dark
question
joke
from,
there.
and who's writing in, and where are they writing in from?
That's a great question, Nate. And this next question is from Dinkle. And he...
Does Dinkle have a last initial?
Oh, no.
it's a title.
Seems like
It
B.
is a title,
Seems like
yeah.
it would be B.
It's like Madonna,
Dinkle B.
Dinkle.
Dinkleby. And they're from Ohio, which
course.
is unfortunate.
What
for
is
them.
Form's favorite dad joke? Dinkle asks. Pretty typical Dinkle question. Form doesn't find dads very funny at all. He just
So
doesn't.
there's no favorite like joke that Form likes to make, or
No, not really.
He seems like a pull my finger guy.
He will put a lampshade on his little ball.
that
yeah,
I
there
like
you
that.
go.
Yeah, that's funny.
Where's Form? I'm gonna turn this lamp on to try and. Oh, it's Form!
Oh
Whoa.
shit, dude!
Janet from it looks like Sacramento asks, what does the galaxy think of Function? I assume you mean Janet means the mycelial galaxy, and they like him. They like him.
I think it depends who
Wow.
you ask.
Yeah,
but
yeah. What do you
generally-
think? What do you think? What do you think?
Well, I've always like personally thought kind of like either like in the mycelium galaxy, because like not. I imagine there's like other like planets like Boma Prime where like they're not really like advanced.
Yeah.
So like if like somehow like those like just between like I feel like it kind of like a similar to like the Avengers type thing, or like Guardians of the Galaxy, of like this ragtag team that like just kind of like saves the galaxy, and like for the most part people like them, and like for the people who aren't as advanced, like kind of like maybe like they think they're kind of like a myth, you know, or something.
Oh,
like
right.
like if like we're in such big trouble, maybe Function will show it.
So-
then, like somebody's like, oh no, they don't exist, or like people kind of look up to Function, and like hopes that in times of their need, like that they'll show, or slash like the Protector as well. But like that's kind of like always how I've thought of it. I didn't know the answer, but that's how I.
That's awesome.
I got a question though that I want to piggyback.
That
with.
from Linda from
Janet.
Scottsdale? Janet from Scottsdale. Go ahead.
I'm curious. How do you think Rango is perceived by like the people? One, maybe that he's interacted with, or like the general public that knows of you but hasn't
Yeah.
interacted with you.
And you're asking me?
Yeah.
I would like to think, so that is a good question. I actually think about that a lot when I'm like playing Rango, and like how I want him to be perceived. And like I would like to think that people like see Rango kind of like this one of the like in Function, like everybody's got their roles, and like I would like to think that like most people think of Rango kind of like this, kind of like a do-gooder, but like he doesn't say too much, and like he's kind of like he gets like off like sheriff vibes, but like he'll always be there, and he always wants to do right by the people, and like whether that's like humans, like other races and species, like just like he always kind of wants to do like what's right, but like also like kind of by him, so like in the sense of like how
Is that why he was so like he's so mad at Torque?
yes, that's
Just personally offended on a
that-
personal level.
I was literally just about to say that. Yeah, it's like and like he still loves Torque, and then especially too like the things that kind of happen. Like he holds Torque like so much closer now and kind of uses his remembrance of like him to do even more good. But like, yeah, like if Rango was in a situation where like he was with like other people, maybe not like function, and they were kind of going against the grain, being like similar to like the what happened like on Earth when they were like, we're just gonna send them to Mars. It's like, well, that's not what you said you were gonna do, and that's not right because these people aren't volunteering for that. You're just kind of forcing that upon them. So then, you know, then Rango did his best to make it right and like made sure they didn't go to Mars. So like just kind of like,
You said
you know, I don't want. Listen, I don't want to talk about that.
They were like,
I don't want to talk about
they
that.
were like, well, you can send them to Hawaii, but they already have a shit ton of refugees. That
That's where they're going,
That's
man.
where they're going.
They're going to
Listen,
Hawaii. Everybody wants to go to
that
Hawaii.
was
Don't be
a
an asshole.
No
momentary-
real estate for these people.
Momentary mistake.
But I'm going to flip the question back on you. I think that's an interesting question for both of you guys. So let's take them in order.
So
what about you, though? What do you think the galaxy thinks of Kratos?
that's very fun because that's a little bit of
Those
why
are
I
huge.
asked the question because I was thinking about that.
Great
you
question for
you
Kratos.
you asked the question because you wanted us to ask you
A
about
little
you.
bit, yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
No,
lie.
I mean fair.
But
Like Kratos is a great character.
I wanted to ask Nathan first about Leo. Okay. Because I'm curious. It's very like you said with the Avengers. All the Avengers, especially once you got to like the Civil War movie, right?
Yeah, like they
or
split.
Age of Ultron. They were all viewed very differently, like by the public. Where
Well, after Civil War, it all got kind of
right,
weird.
so
Yeah.
it's weird because like as a general public, you're like, well, damn, they're all heroes, but like some of them are criminals now, and it
Right.
was this weird thing.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? How do you think Leo is perceived, and how do you like want it to be?
Sure. I'm gonna have to walk through this in real time. So the way I play Leo it is mostly as a coordinator if he needs to be. It's basically like a backbone or a glue.
Where?
In the sense where,
Like a safety net too, maybe.
yeah, maybe that's a better way. It is if we have a hard time making up our minds, I like to think that Leo is kind of the guy that will step
Right.
in and
Yeah.
give guidance and direction, really be an arrow for the party. I feel like he doesn't do that all the time, but that's because he doesn't have to all the time.
Well, it's also a facet of how we play as well, right? So, like,
Yeah.
Right, yeah, there
like
are-
Cammy comes home or those folks come home, and they self-direct their stories pretty aggressively because they haven't played in like
Sure.
a month or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are definitely like physical reasons why it kind of plays out the way it does, for sure. But when it comes to like big story, game time,
I think
How do
Leo.
people think of
Yeah,
Leo?
that's what
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like. What is
and that's kind of where I'm trying to build
Yeah.
towards. Is once now I've got that all laid down.
and like there's a difference like the way you play like you were talking about the game absolutely, but just because that doesn't match up like with the way that you want to be perceived, I think is, or you think you are, you know,
Right.
the character.
Well, this is the thing with RPG, right? So you play the character so you can either take the character and go, okay, I'm going to play this wildly different person than myself. Or what you guys have always kind of done is played him very similar to who you sort of are as people. Rango's an interesting thing. He's kind of doing a fantasy version of who Dylan, I think, sees himself as maybe.
It definitely, I feel as if our characters are just accentuations of our personality.
Yeah,
Oh.
like caricatures, really. Like,
Yes, yeah. We just, yeah.
yeah.
I don't know, but following back up on that of like, how do I think it's perceived? It's a little weird. I almost feel as if you need to tell me how they'd react to how I played. Because you're asking me like,
Yeah.
well,
how do I think people perceive me? But you could tell me directly from seeing my actions, how am I
yeah.
perceived?
It's a hard question to
no,
answer.
No. Think of it this way. So think about like the things that Leo has done. So think about moments throughout the campaign that have been like you kind of making the choice or deeds that would be known, and how do you think that they would react to it? You don't got to think about like
Sure.
like I hear also for me, like I was saying, I think that I think the idea of like what Kratos wants, or is viewed as by the general people that know of like function, right? The people that are getting the trading cards and that kind of stuff is like kind of like the. I want to be a more of almost like that Captain America-esque role where it's not quite that, but like the big bruiser fighter, doesn't go down kind of guy. But the reason that I was thinking of it is because specifically moments where Kratos was helping save other people and they like watched how he did it, I think changes how they view him kind of in a bad way.
Oh, in a bad way?
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's kind of like the Hulk, where
exactly.
That's just
everybody loves the Hulk. Like when he goes over and he's fighting everything.
Yeah.
But then when the clips come out of all the shit that he breaks and like people getting caught,
superheroes in general. Really.
So I think it's kind of that vibe of being like the one episode where we're dealing with the kobolds in their camp.
Yeah.
And Kratos just like stomps 3 of them to like paste. Boom, boom, boom. Like
true. Yeah. Well,
for a person who like you're thinking like, oh, this guy's like Captain America, and then you watch him do that, you're like,
right.
Oh, what the hell?
And
like that's a little.
This is a really good time to talk about some of the really, really good episodes. Just didn't. We just couldn't find a way to make them fit, but have had a massive impact on how the characters see themselves in general. Some really early episodes that were quite good, but just couldn't figure out how to make it work.
Are we in the cave?
We in the cave, exactly.
So
actually, that's coming up. Actually, so
that's kind of the lines of my question is like the people that know Leo, that have seen him like doing it, how they think of it versus like the general public being like, oh, Iron Man is the rich playboy and Captain America is the do-good boy.
Leo seems to have been the most controlled with the council, so they see you as the most stable potentially.
I think there's 2 things. I think he's consistent, like
exactly
through and through.
Yeah,
like out, in closed doors and outside of closed doors. It's
Form sees you
what you're getting.
Form sees him that way as well.
And so, from the public perspective, I can't imagine that I'm very polarizing, but definitely a lawful good is really how he's built. I feel like that's how
there's
he's
some
seen.
kid
Like,
out there who wants
that's
to be
cool.
you.
Like,
It's definitely.
He's not like
he's the most clear cut, easy to like go. That's a good.
Well, to me, he is that Captain America vibe where it's like he's the one they call on. He's gonna do the right thing, kind of stuff. Like
gonna find the best way to do it.
Unless something so strongly goes against his morality, like of it.
What? Let's shift gears here and let's talk about Leica. Because we have a question here from this says Rundal from
Randall?
Oh, yeah.
Is it Randall?
It is. It's Randall from Oklahoma.
Holy.
Sorry, Randall from Oklahoma asks, what the hell's up with Leica? What's up with that? Good question, Randall.
Tell me. Early in the campaign, I was talking about like maybe we could become big G's, and I was shot down, and now all of a sudden.
First of all, the question's vague. Let's get that out there.
Yeah.
What is up
It's not
with
a
Leica?
strong.
Oh,
it's
you're
not
right.
a strong question.
Maybe he's like hitting on her.
Well,
He's like, what's up with
Oh, what the hell's up?
He
with
did
the
it.
relationship status?
Randall did send a drawing along as well that
Ooh, I'm glad you said
kind of
drawing.
probably backs up that latter part. But let's assume he means something not disgusting.
All right, to kind of what CJ was just saying, I actually think Leica is so like in the beginning we're kind of like we're little G's, and like I feel like our journey used to be, all of us is to become big G's. So I think she is like kind of like the first in the sense of like she has a established relationship with Odin, right? The Allfather.
Dig it.
Yeah.
Dig it.
And,
That's a good point.
Yeah, and like consistently throughout the podcast has she been having these snippets of like the future / past / just these conversations. So it's like I think in a sense is like that was always her destiny. Like,
What makes her unique? Let's talk a little bit.
She's
I
our
agree.
only healer. That makes her very unique.
She is well up to a certain point. She held a very specific and unique.
like record that nobody probably wanted.
Oh, bad at rolling. I don't know.
She's terrible at rolling. Macy, we love you, but you're terrible at rolling.
I love you,
The
Macy.
only thing
but,
I can think of is that, like, I guess I don't know if she still does, but like, I think she'd be the only like function that dislikes humans.
Yeah.
Still. That's the only one
Yeah.
I can think. Like,
That's
that
what I was
it's
Because
like,
they
thinking, yeah.
actually killed her.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's the only one of you that they got to in time and actually shut down, right?
Right, because we did cut out that time Rory jumped in the fucking geyser.
Wow, I'm remembering all that.
Oh, right, yeah.
I jump in it. What?
So, and I guess the point here though is that like of all of the people that had early access to like being shut down.
Right. She has the most grudge.
So let's talk a little bit about season 2. Season 2, we're gonna get to meet the gods. Kind of the first 10 episodes, just god after god after god after god after god. So I would encourage listeners, and I would encourage you guys, players, to pay attention to the rhythm of those episodes because they're all going to be the same. And I think we've talked about this before. Like you guys are part of a larger plan. You're part of a larger design. So yeah, we'll talk about Mace. I think Leica is an interesting character, only in that. I mean, let's face it, her god powers have been pretty inaccessible up to this point. So,
but she has them.
And well, CJ's got a pretty fascinating little tool that we have yet to really kind of delve into now as well. The last time you guys saw him, he was pitching it to a cougar on Earth.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He's got the staff that turns into whatever he wants.
Yeah, I thought that was.
Leica and Riot Girl, or Cersei and Riot Girl, are essentially autonomous transformers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think
Right?
that's sick
So
too.
everybody's kind of achieving their gods, right?
Yeah.
Mercury and Silver have very, very special rings that were given to them by Hera in one of the
Well, I
episodes.
have Rango.
Oh,
has
you have
too.
one of those as well.
Yeah, let's not forget about him. But, yeah.
I thought you had something special,
We
more special.
always
but I guess
Gotta
that's
have
it.
a level up.
Well, other than that, I do.
So what does that leave us, though? Is there a story we're missing? Does there seem to be a story that's needs some fleshing out?
I mean, Torque's dead, but.
So we'll let Torque's story kind of play out.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's everybody, right? Or Leo. Do you have anything special? I don't know.
All right. Well,
moment.
Rachel from Duluth asks, is there any known history on the construction of the engine?
We don't even know what the hell it is.
Yeah.
Well, what do we know about it?
It is a part of a cycle
Shiva's
of
ship.
rebirth.
It is Shiva's ship.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
it destroyed the ore play in like
0.5 seconds.
0 seconds.
Oh, I got a question. I don't. Oh
Yeah.
wait, never mind.
Ask away.
No,
ask away.
well,
we
but
can cut if that doesn't make sense.
Shiva was the one that we met in that cut episode, isn't it?
You did meet Shiva in an episode,
But that was the old one. That's not the same like
Correct.
thing.
Different- different.
Because it was throwing me off because I was remembering
Yes.
that, and I was like, I thought she was a good guy.
she was a good guy, and then I decided because she's so cool,
She's not.
She's not a good guy.
I needed an arch
Yeah.
villain.
I do
That's
have
what I
a question though about that. So like with Hera,
yeah.
and she said like I forget what the question was, but like we asked her about Shiva, and she was like, "Yeah, I let her do stuff when I want to let her." So like what was going on with that?
Well, so this is what I love about great question, and you're really just repeating a question from Oliver out of London.
Well, yeah.
So you really just
Oliver.
you're just hitting one of the same questions that he
Okay.
asked.
Okay.
He said 2 questions. Please, sir, can I have another? And then-
Some more.
yeah, exactly.
One more question, please.
And then this question,
puppets.
which is a great but I think so. What's awesome about the gods is that, and there's some really good stuff here for season 2. The gods are created, just like you guys were, and so what I love about them is that they have their own faults and problems and issues as well. Hera's she's the third being ever to exist. She's the first thing ever made. Odin
It
made
was-
Odin. Well, I guess unless you count Odin.
I was gonna say, do we know
Yeah, wasn't
how
it like
Odin came
the
to
all
be?
like the all creator or like the creator
Made
Odin,
Yeah.
and then Hera? So-
Odin
or
got,
was there-
Odin is like Borg.
Yeah.
Creator made Odin just to be with.
Do we know who the creator? I mean,
Okay.
No,
now
we
you're
don't
barking
really.
up the tree.
Wow.
No, we know. We don't really know anything about the creator.
We knew that.
this is
I
like
think the name is look. The name kind of says it all. But he's not really the creator.
but like, who created the creator?
I think that
This is getting really philosophical.
Yeah.
Somebody somewhere had to start from something, and I'd like to know what that something is.
I was thinking
Before
about the Big Bang
Like, is it
Theory.
like stardust? It just like
Before Odin, there was nothing.
right.
Just the creator.
just the,
And he said, "What there be like?"
He said, "I would like a partner." So
I
he
hope
made
it-
Odin.
yeah.
I hope the creator is LeBron James.
My God, I hope not.
You are my son.
That seems really obvious.
That he is.
Yeah, that it would be him. It's actually Scottie Pippen.
Blocked by James.
I hate that because now that's like all I'm gonna think about.
Scotty.
Like, when we,
The creator,
yeah, when-
LeBron.
An
yeah,
old
just-
Scottie Pippen. Is who it is.
He's doing his Statue of Liberty dunk.
when he created Odin, he just slammed dunked and then Odin.
Nobody likes LeBron, you guys. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my God, that's crazy. That's canon.
Odin was a tomahawk dunk.
So, is there
God.
any known history on the construction of the engine?
Not that I
No,
can think.
we're going to find out. Is it relatively young? No, it's probably somewhere in the realm of
Has there been?
70 or 80 million years old.
Damn, wait, how long have we been alive?
No, we haven't. No,
No, I
They're
know,
not
I know
that-
we have. I'm saying,
Yeah.
how long have we compared to that? I don't.
we were created in like 2030 something.
It's a lot old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about that in a game full of aliens.
Is it relatively young? No. Younger or older than when the Protector was from? Much, much older, obviously.
Actually,
I'm
yeah. How
wondering
old is
if
the
there's
Protector?
any literature, protectorates. All right, now I'm going to have to open the tab.
hell, it'd be like
about to say,
at
how
least
many
half
years
of us,
after-
basically.
Yeah, because we joined them and
How
they've
long-
been established
No,
in.
you made it.
We started.
Yeah,
it,
how
Oh,
long was
really?
it after we left Earth for us to have an influence enough to the point where we could create the Protector?
You left Earth in 2052?
Well, technically, the Protectorate started as soon as we met,
Protectorate?
like, the Loxodons.
Yeah, so
That
I
was-
thought like the Loxodons were already the Protectorate and then we joined them.
No,
I think they're just
Re-
part of the group.
Ready? I
that
have these
form it.
answers.
Okay.
2052 is when you left Earth. 3420 is when the Protector was formed.
3420?
2052 to
3420, so 1400 years?
That's how long they were.
About 1300 years from the time you left Earth until the time you made the Protectorate.
So they're only like a couple hundred,
Yeah.
200 years old. The Protectorate is.
Well,
Okay.
now it's 36. Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh, wait, we've had like
And they've only had
Man,
one
so we're well
major
established.
turnover on the council. This
Look
is what I
at
was
that.
afraid of.
That's a pretty
Not
good
crazy.
track record.
Now,
Crazy.
granted,
are there term
pretty
limits?
awful turnover.
Yeah,
that's
pretty
what I'm
awful.
saying.
Yeah.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Is
Hey,
like
But not
even
bad.
Rome
But you're
fell.
right. Not bad.
Even
Not bad.
Rome fell.
Long lived. Most people are in these galaxies,
Yeah.
right? Long lived.
So we are
I
that
got a question.
Sure.
Or maybe.
Well, somebody else has a question.
Oh yeah, actually, I'm reading it here from. Oh, look at that! It's Sanjay Gupta. It's the CNN guy.
That's no. This is no. This is exciting because we knew there was some celebrity
Yeah,
fans.
yep,
But
yeah,
go
the
ahead,
CNN, the World
Sanjay.
Damn,
What
I'm a
does
huge
Sanjay
fan
want
of
to know?
him too, so that's pretty sick. That's pretty sick.
I'm having a moment.
What did Sanjay Gupta say?
He's wondering if there's any more info that we can know about. He doesn't remember the name of the tree lady that sent Kratos and Form and Loxodonus to jail and took their jobs.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
well,
know
She
any
was
of
like a sit-in or on the council or something, right?
Yeah, she
Like,
stole
Yeah.
their spot and then
Yeah.
sent
Stole?
them to jail. Stole, yeah.
Oh,
Well, like a
like the
satin-
lady
Unannounced.
who.
No, she took the spot. It wasn't a sit-in. It was like
I thought
it
she
was
for
was-
Loxodonus, right? Because
Yeah, but
Loxodonus
she-
had to come down, so someone had to sit in their spot.
well, yeah,
which
but
is the
they
tree.
but they voted like her in. Like
Sure,
it's not like
sure.
it's a fill-in sub.
Corruption.
Her name, the tree's name was.
Asshole.
Bitch lady.
Holt.
Holt?
She actually wasn't that bad. She could have killed me.
Hudminus Holt. Hudminus Holt.
Hudminus Holt.
And it was like a tree.
Hudminus.
It's
Yeah.
like an ent from like.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an N? I thought it was in a
It's sorta
pot.
You
thought it was like a Groot?
Yeah, like a baby Groot. Yeah.
No legs.
You like-
More like a floating pot. Yeah, like a container. It needs its roots.
Okay,
rotted.
but it's like the medium-sized person tree.
Small ant, small ant, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
yeah.
So it is
But
baby
in a
Groot.
pot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Do you
floating around.
like? I mean, it,
I like
it
it.
is-
That is
it
how
is
I
pot.
picture it. I picture
What do you mean by that?
Pot in a
babe?
pot.
Dude, you got.
I
Hudminus
Are we
Holt.
sure her name's not Mary Jane?
What else? That was the other question. Hudminus Holt.
well, Sanjay Gupta was wondering if there's
Yeah.
any info we can know about. 'Cause she just kind of appeared.
Wait, yeah,
It
but
was like, whoa,
Yeah, she
all
did.
of a sudden.
nature and politics hates a vacuum, right? There's going to be someone who steps in too.
Yeah, but like, who is she to get there?
Maybe we'll
Well, you
find
don't
out
remember-
in season 2. More to discover in season 2. Sanjay,
right.
sorry, can't get in more than that. Sanjay.
Sorry, Mr. Gupta.
Love your work.
But Ryan
Huge
from
fan.
Escanaba, Michigan asks, I'm wondering if there's any literature, stories, or rumors that may contain more information about the engine.
Oh. I would love to find that out.
I think I can easily say that there are
There's gotta be.
species in
Yeah.
mycelia that are aware of the legend of these cycles.
Yeah. Okay.
Damn it, we've
That
never
makes
talked
sense.
to any of them to get a little bit of
Right.
So many stars in a
Do
galaxy.
any of the
isn't there?
mothers know?
They live in caves.
Things to find out
We helped them like.
I
learn
thought there was like a mother on each planet, or was that just on
So-
Wait,
that?
what did you ask?
The mothers, remember?
Oh,
or was that specific to that,
was
tribe?
no, that
Prime.
was the humans.
Oh,
yeah, no,
okay.
They're,
Word.
they're
Sorry.
They're like,
But a
king
good
lad.
time to talk about where our characters are actually physically at the start of
Most-
season 2.
Oh, we're in
Okay.
cool spots.
Yeah.
What?
So
Yeah.
where are you guys? So
are you with
They're
me? Yeah,
at
you,
Earth.
and Mercury.
and Liam. Yeah,
And then another god, but the gods have all fled.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We're at Earth. We're
Yep.
You guys are
out
with
back where we first like took
Tyr.
off.
He fled. All
Yeah.
the gods will have fled.
Yeah, they went back.
But the rest of the function are at Mola Prime.
yeah, they went to the same
Exactly.
spot.
Yeah.
And also
Which
the
is
gods
hilarious.
the gods have fled them there as well.
Which you guys,
Damn, my boy
are
Horus.
You guys screwed those humans so bad. We were like,
I
let's
think it was
let's all go somewhere where no
really
one can
helpful
get
from a
hurt.
story perspective.
No one can get hurt.
We can defend
and
them,
we
though.
all can against the lady that ripped the ore play in like a second.
I'm gonna try my best.
But also, at Earth, we
I
don't
can shoot
have to
things.
try and defend
There's nothing.
them.
If she followed us, yeah, it's
Listen,
like, all right,
we
I
just
guess
eat
we
the
die.
earth.
Yeah.
So-
I just want to say, in my defense, in our team's defense, I was with Gabe, who has played 2 games, including that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was with Cammy, who hasn't played in half a year.
Yeah.
So,
So-
it sounds
Whoa,
like
whoa.
what,
So this is purely your
yeah, it sounds
fault.
like
Yeah, so-
you
so there's
threw
no
out
one to
the
blame
plan.
but
Vote was
And
the biggest.
Keep in mind, hold on here. What he's not adding is he played with himself.
Oh my god, he
Who-
did not.
Yeah, I did. No, that never happened. That never.
Hadn't listened to any of the other episodes.
So
that
we were
anybody-
screwed. But like
So-
even then though, like there's not like lots of planets are.
So
been
Robert
named,
from
to my
Nome,
knowledge.
Robert from
and I'm
Nome,
caught up now.
Robert from Nome, Alaska wants to know: is Rango still in the cave?
Yes,
Rango is.
I
al-
think-
it's-
Rango is always in
It's
the
a
cave.
mentality.
Why don't
Yeah.
we talk about this?
Yeah.
Because
Mentally, he's
it
always
keeps
in that
coming
cave.
up as a kind of an inside joke bit, and
But sometimes
the listener
inside
might
jokes
be
are meant
interested
be
to
inside
know.
jokes.
That episode probably didn't.
Yeah, it didn't make
No,
it.
it never made
It didn't, but we could still talk
So
about
it's
Oh
it.
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
CJ,
so, yeah, this whole
brought it
time.
up.
CJ, just about anything that Rango's ever been in has been cut. I just want you to know that.
Damn. So you don't even have your cool gun?
No, no, I
Uh,
do. I do. That is.
Where'd that
I-
come from?
So narratively,
If he takes it away, I'm gonna die.
narratively, I
Well, you'll try your best.
I find Rango episodes just
Hard to get through.
a slog.
I want my
I'm teasing.
peppers
I'm
back.
teasing. I'm teasing. Okay, so a couple more
Crazy.
questions. Let's talk about this. So there was a moment though when Dylan
It was
very
his
beginning.
It was the
of-
first
time ever
learning to
playing.
play.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
it
First
was
learning
my
to play.
First time ever playing.
As everybody knows, following a narrative thread sometimes while trying to figure out a game is very difficult. And
Especially,
he kept.
especially when we jump.
We
right.
were in the we didn't give him a lot of warning, and the consistent question throughout the day was, are we still in the cave?
So the event that transpired was we started the game in
in the time.
in like the current time.
Yeah,
Stuff was
and
happening.
I think we were specifically in the ore place. So it was like
Then you had a flashback for Dylan.
Yup.
Where he went
Yeah.
in a cave.
No, there
And
were
then you in the flashback
Flashback.
went backwards even more.
man.
Yes.
And
yes.
there was a solid 5 to 8 minutes where you would explain the whole thing again to him, and he would sit there listening and nodding, and then at the end he'd go, "Wait, so we're in the cave?"
Still in the cave.
yeah.
I think it's
I
important.
was very
A
confused.
good storyteller,
Never reveals his secret.
Not in the room.
tries to not carry an
A
actual
good
thread.
storyteller is not in this room. I'll tell you that.
Exactly. So Phyllis from Colorado asks,
Billy.
how often does Riot Girl act like Sherlock outside of the simulation?
I would say almost never. Doesn't she hate it? Isn't that like canon?
That's right. That's what
Yeah.
it feels like to me too. Is not something she likes to do.
Yeah.
Now
No,
we would have
Mercury,
to ask him.
on the other hand.
Should we call Cammy and ask her?
Yeah.
What
yeah,
if
call
it's
it.
like what if it's like a guilty pleasure thing where she
I was
wants
about
to
to
pretend
say,
like she doesn't like
because
it?
I feel like when she's in the game, she is so locked in Sherlock.
To be fair, though,
she does
when
that shitty British accent and everything.
Right.
But when that happened, though, like her and Cersei were like on the brink of death. That was like the only thing keeping them alive. So it was like that wasn't like her being like, "Oh, this is my moment to be Sherlock." That
But
was
she's
like,
also played prior to that with Liam.
but that was when she was.
But
Ragdoll,
remember the part of that story is that he had to beg her to do it. In the
yeah,
first place.
yeah. She had,
Maybe she fell in love.
You know what I'd like to
I
think
think
of now?
you're making conspiracy.
Hey,
I am.
Hi, how are you?
good. We have questions.
Oh, okay.
You said we.
So
I think
actually,
I have answers.
yeah, no, for real. It was actually you're right. It was Phyllis from Colorado who wants to know:
Yo, because I heard her say that.
Big Phil.
does Riot Girl act like Sherlock outside of the simulation?
Does she act like in the game? Like in the game, does she act like?
Yeah. Does she like Sherlock being Sherlock?
No. I think that like if Riot Girl knew that she had personified Sherlock Holmes, she'd probably be mortified.
That's what we thought.
I love
Like
the
she would
idea of
probably
like
be so embarrassed. Like, what do you mean my alter ego is Sherlock Holmes?
I know, right? Exactly.
What do you mean by that?
Okay,
Yeah. Wait, who wants to know this?
Phyllis from Colorado.
Big Phil.
Big Phil.
This
Have a Phyllis from Colorado listening?
This also might be the time to alert listeners that all of these names have been made up and we just have been making it.
Except
Yeah.
for Sanjay Gupta.
Except for Sanjay Gupta.
He did.
We were shocked by that entry. We were shocked.
He did.
Exactly. All right, Cammy, thank you.
At
We
first,
miss
I
you.
thought
We'll
it
talk to
was
you
real
soon.
own. So when you said Ishping,
Bye.
I was like, dude, I know somebody from that. I was like, that's sick.
Sanjay Gupta was real. We can agree on that.
I like
right?
to think
Yes.
that specifically after the incident where like they got thrown into the playpen, right, and they kind of went wonky because of it.
Yeah.
I love
Who'd
the
they meet?
idea.
That they met Osiris that game.
I love the
That wasn't
idea
Osiris.
of like when she came out and she's normal, but like every now and then when she does like the British voice randomly, it's like a weird alter ego tick thing.
or like
So
a
that's
glitch.
weird that you say
Yeah.
that because that's what was in my brain too. Is that
Yeah, it could be
sometimes
like a
she speaks in
glitch.
British. In
Well,
her
it
head.
like
Yeah.
whatever, because it was her in the playpen, but you know it's also kind of its own person in it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When they got like ripped back out, like it pulled a little bit of that, and now it's
Oh
like
my god,
rocking
that would
in
be
her
so.
head kind of thing.
Yeah,
You
that'd
should
be
send that to her and say
awesome.
this is what I'm thinking. So
That would
she
be
has
really
autonomous-
awesome. Just like
Um,
yeah, just like a tick randomly. She'll say like one or two words in a British accent, not even notice.
So I will take this moment to say that a lot of these questions were sent in by our players. They just had random questions. Real quickly, does anybody have any genuine questions before we kind of wrap this up with a big question I have for you guys?
I got one about, well,
Yeah, him.
should I talk about, like, my staff?
Ask.
What are you laughing
Any
at?
questionable dude? Should I?
Should I talk about my staff?
Well,
Oh.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, bud. If you're.
it's specifically more like,
if you're open about
well,
that.
we were talking about Dylan playing with himself.
no,
so-
you were talking about.
Should we talk about
like-
Dylan playing with my
No,
staff?
we definitely should not be talking about that.
It's. I mean, more of. It's just a game question for me because
Yes, go away.
is there a way
I did not know that.
when it gets to fighting? I don't want to have to like leave a dude at 1 health and be like, okay, Rango, now you kill him. So can I
He'll do
just
it,
like when I do damage that would be lethal? Like from here on out, can Kratos be in incapacitate mode?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Batman.
We talked
So, like,
about
when
we
I-
talked about this a little bit. I think you and I personally.
Yeah, you said that I can basically choose the damage threshold and stuff, but
Yeah.
I don't want to overkill them. So if it's just incapacitate like Batman, where it's like
Yeah.
from here on out,
Yeah.
all my attacks are
They're never
unless
gonna-
I
yeah.
randomly specify like, oh, I am
Would you agree though that like maybe
like
the consistent poopy action on your part, like one after one after one, might yield an accidental death, kind of stuff like that? Like if you kept rolling ones, like if you're trying to automatically not kill
Oh,
people.
I see what you're
would it-
saying.
If you roll so garbage, is there a world where the ones take control and you accidentally kill?
I think that'd be pretty good.
Or, I mean, we could talk about it too
Okay.
because any battle that I entered with you as Kratos, I would know automatically that we better not kill anybody.
Well, I'll give you
would get
this.
mad as hell.
I was gonna kind of hide this for a moment way down the line because I was telling Dylan about
Keep it
this.
in
Yeah,
your
I-
pants. You're gonna keep this in your
Yeah,
pants.
yeah,
Yeah.
But
His staff.
His staff in his pants.
so I love the idea with obvious. So Kratos jumping from like was a war machine, then got pissed off once he realized that he was like kind of being used. Hated kind of everybody except like the other function, you know, and helping people. And then obviously did kind of realize like, oh shit, maybe I'm going too far down a bad road. The jump from like realizing, you know, that maybe I'm going down a bad road to now all of a sudden like, oh, I don't kill anything anymore was kind of quick, and I'm okay with it. But like you just said, I love the idea that he's still not like that part is still in him. And specifically with Dylan, what I was saying is like if there comes a moment way later in the future where it's like the big bad, right? And for example, somebody kills like Leo. Leo's dead, and Kratos has
God
a chance
forbid.
to like end that person. He's gonna be willing to drop that oath and be like, "This is worth it."
Okay.
That'll be
And
up.
hey,
I think it adds an awesome tension.
It's such
to-
a hard.
It adds a cool little tension to see how this plays out.
yeah.
Because you're also not going to kill or stop them from executing their duties. So you'll have to come to some middle ground and common ground.
Yeah, because like I'm just saying, like if it's like
Okay,
the,
do it.
My eyes are closed.
It's like
But, like-
B.A. Baracus from the A-Team. We like drug you every time we need to go on a flight. We just knock you out.
Yes.
Kratos, I'm gonna need.
I don't know if you remember this, but
I'll
in
need you
the,
to
in the
quickly,
80s, there was a television show
For
in which it was okay to physically drug and knock out a friend to get him to get on a plane every time he needed to go somewhere.
It
Damn.
was also in the movie in the helicopter. I think.
Rango's like, puts gun away. Fine. Whatever. Not going to kill anybody today, then, I guess. Which is like, I think, how Rango ends
No,
2/3 of his day. Fine.
That is, yeah.
Fine.
No, that is
I
accurate.
guess we're not going to kill anybody today.
So
Dude's head is
my thing
always on his
was,
gun.
no, for real.
Fine, right, girl. I guess we're
Rango. So the way that Rango sleeps, right, is he has his helmet like just over his eyes, so you can't tell if he's sleeping, and his arms are always crossed on his guns. He is always ready. So when like
So you sleep like a vampire?
sure, yeah.
like a cowboy vampire.
No, like
No,
like
but on hips.
or like yeah, so like kind of like imagine like how assassins
Rango
sleep,
makes
you know,
Macarena
like
moves.
always ready.
Shakira type.
So
Everybody knows. All right, questions for you guys. Tell me something Nate, we'll start with you, Leo. Tell me something that you're excited about in season 2.
no pressure.
story wise, character wise, anything.
I think it's always really interesting to see how, like, even before the climax happens, see how it's going to build. I'm so excited to hear and to see all of the details start to unfold about like what's going to happen and how we're going to progress to get there and how the tensions are going to rise. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how our characters respond to all of the actions that are probably going to go against them. So I think that's always super exciting.
That's super cool because like
agree.
the first season, I was still reacting to a lot of the writing was reacting to a lot of what you guys were doing, and then the shape of season 2 is pretty much done. So there's not a ton more of. I think these moments really for us all. There's some
the point to add to that I think is particularly interesting is in those high tension moments is when individuals tend to make maybe rash decisions. It's going to be really fun to see how some of the
emotional
functions perform in ways that you didn't think that they were going to do.
Exactly.
And I think it's going to be fun. I'm not
sure.
saying I'm going to force it or
No,
someone
I'm
should force it, but
no.
it's going to be super cool to see
Leo
people
holds
do
a
it.
gun to Kratos and kill him! Kill him!
Why?
You need the power.
because Mercury had to go. That's why. CJ, Kratos. What do you got? What are you looking forward to about season 2?
The first one for me that I'm just right away thinking of is if, like, just the idea and the process of Kratos holding this this oath, and if there's events that make him question it kind of thing, or all that. And then the other one, it sounds kind of weird to hope for, but like, kind of hope that there's some. I want there to be some close calls, or maybe even like some sacrifices that people got to make type stuff. Like the only one we had was Torg, and it was an awesome storyline and everything. But I'm excited to see. I don't know. It feels like we've been beating up on everybody for the most part, and it'll be cool to see if now we're dealing with more gods and getting a little bit later into it, if there are some moments where maybe things go bad for people.
On that note, though, I will say I do completely agree, but I felt like that was kind of like the season finale, and I felt like everybody just kind of aced that. You know what I'm saying? Like props to us. Like I felt like no, for real.
Take
though.
this,
I
this
did
moment
great
to just,
sitting in a jail cell.
You did. No, but like everybody else, like I really thought someone was gonna die, and then it was just like, oh shit, like we made it.
Rango, what do you got? What are you looking forward to?
So I don't know for sure like what we got planned for season 2, but I'm really excited kind of to delve more into individuals of like the functions, in the sense of like kind of like how Kratos had his arc of going from war machine to now peaceful pacifist kind of warrior. And so like I'm kind of excited if season 2 has that for more of like individual time with like Leo, in the sense of like Leo is very consistent across the board, but like I would like to like see him do some things that are like kind of are like missions more focused on kind of getting more personal with.
But don't you hope at the end though, like
function.
It ends up sort of being at the very end of it very much like a after school special kind of.
Well, yeah.
Where we teach a lesson about friendship and the journey that the thing we were looking for was there right all along.
That's not what I'm getting at, but yes. What I'm getting at.
Yes, but then we kill that thing.
Well, I just wanted to be just its own thing.
Yeah,
let's make a story.
That, I think you guys are missing the point of what I'm trying to say.
I was just teasing.
I think that
I can't wait.
We're just gonna let that roll.
We will find out that and more coming up in season 2 in the next couple weeks. Starting in May is when these episodes will kick off. We sure do appreciate everybody listening. Lovely to spend time with you guys. Thanks for being here. And we shall talk to you soon. Thanks very much, and we're gonna go out on a special kind of ending here. I'm gonna play some of our live event.
Jericho!
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you very soon. We'll see you in season 2.